Today, we struck another blow against the Fire Nation swine. I got a special joy from the look on one soldier's face when the Duke dropped down on his helmet and rode him like a wild hog monkey. Now, the Fire Nation thinks they don't have to worry about a couple of kids hiding in the trees. Maybe they're right. Or maybe they are dead wrong.
When we're talking about non-bending, we cannot forget.
I know. I was putting it off.
What? You're putting it off?
Because I knew we were going to get to it. I've never been more confident that Dante would make sure that we gave some love to a certain non-bender that he is quietly and not so quietly obsessed with.
A leader of the freedom fighters that not everyone, have. It's a gray area of the show.
For sure. Oh, I got you.
Gray area of the show.
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
He only had one shoulder pad through the whole show.
Yeah.
And had that same little barley.
Got to get that straw in your mouth.
Straw.
We love our
Secret
asymmetrical
source of
king.
Power. That's
Asymmetrical king.
Yeah.
Cool name.
The coolest.
Because when you're a jet,
cool.
you're a jet all the way.
Heck yeah. From your first straw in your mouth to your last dying
day.
to your last mortal blow day, because we can't say
we don't know.
We
we don't know if he's there. We don't know if he's unalive.
Fatally
He
wounded.
definitely was easily manipulated or brainwashed.
I know. Just such a compelling storyline, a tragic storyline, a fan favorite. One of those.
Not a bad guy. I mean,
Well, did he go too far? That's the joy of this show. Did he go too?
It's what makes
it's a conversation starter.
I am a Fire Nation apologist.
Yeah.
Yet one of my favorite characters is so against the Fire Nation.
They want to take out an old person.
Point.
You know,
right?
Old person. He was taking out a whole town.
I know, but this is a good question, right?
Yeah.
What is a person a bad person because of an action or their actions, or can you be a broken person who makes terrible decisions and hurts people?
Right.
But for the right reasons,
are you fundamentally bad?
Yeah.
Or are you just broken and unable to sort of see in a clear moral way anymore because of what's been done to you? You could make the same argument about Hama.
We don't know.
You could make the same argument about Hama. I know you don't want me to, but you could.
Yeah,
I ain't messing with Hama. Not today, not tomorrow, not yesterday. Look at Jet. Like you say, listen, Jet as a fighter can hold his own.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
With
anyone.
swords.
Yes.
Right?
Come on.
And as a character, charming as all get out. Charming.
Community builder. Gave
a
place of a feeling of home.
A
to
leader of
the
freedom fighter, like Sokka, a leader.
Yeah.
I mean, with Katara, charismatic.
Yes.
With him and Katara, they had that.
Oh yeah, going up into the.
Katara was done. Katara was done.
She was done.
One of my. Oh yeah, she was in. One of my favorite things about this character too is that his maybe or maybe not final moments, we're unclear, we don't know, are so emotional because he's like, my friends are going to hang back, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you're like, no
you're not.
And he and his friends knew that wasn't that kind of that relationship, that character, that emotional truth in a character who's wrapped up in the charming rogue and the it's just
he was a casualty.
Yes.
If we want to go there, and guess what? A casualty of what? Not the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
No.
That wasn't none of that happened in the
Fire
Nation.
Nation.
None of that happened in the Fire Nation, you guys. That happened in
the Earth Kingdom.
Earth Kingdom.
I think this guy.
Good
folks in the Earth Kingdom. This is another character where this guy might show up for him and say that he's in his top 3.
I know.
Because he helped everybody to Appa at Lake Laogai. Like, he really did. He had this sort of like, and we're going to talk about the sort of overall concept of redemption on another episode. So we don't have to touch on it too much here, but you love when a character is given the opportunity to do a really good thing.
Yes.
Especially if their future afterwards is uncertain.
Yes.
It does turn them into this kind of beloved character.
When a character is good to animals,
it's great.
Heart bending.
Goes a long way.
It does go a long way. Goes a long way.
He's an animal lover.
Yeah.
I mean, Jet, sure, questionable things go on, but
a great character.
Great character.
Undeniably great
style.
character.
Yeah.
Undeniably.
Yeah.
All right. Here's this idea. Here's this idea.
Yeah.
Go ahead for it.
The blue spirit isn't a bender.
What?
I mean,
what?
Can we do that?
Can we?
Can we do that?
I mean, the blue spirit
ain't using bending.
is an identity. is a persona.
I mean,
is a
great fighter.
Great fighter.
Doesn't use bending.
Yeah.
Makes great choices. Has made some of the most compassionate choices as the Blue Spirit,
That's true.
which I think was
he lost a few times the Blue Spirit.
He lost a few times.
Aang had to save him.
Look at all of
Aang had to save him.
But that's what afforded so many lessons in his
Yeah.
journey. Like, you cannot look at Zuko's journey without his experience as a Blue Spirit.
Yeah.
Helping
For sure.
him learn, develop, take chances, make braver choices that kind of went against
I'm always
his like
I'm always
one-track
down for Blue Spirit.
mind.
Your Blue Spirit. So is this got to be top 1 or
real
2
high up.
Top 3
He's
for
right up
sure.
there.
Top 3
of technically non-bending
at the
characters.
time.
Yeah.
I just love how Zuko was like had that Spider-Man thing.
Uh-huh.
Like he
he's
was
got
like,
his
you know what I'm
secret
gonna
identity.
do? I
Give
got
me a
secret
break.
identity.
Absolutely.
Batman, he watched a lot of he read a lot of comic books and me too.
For sure. For sure. I could do
also.
it. I could do it. It's a great way to flex your muscles. And I love the Blue Spirit because Zuko has, compared to our real world, superpowers.
Totally.
But the Blue Spirit is the identity
reverse.
that's like
Right.
it's the reverse.
He was like the Batman. That was his
I know.
Batman.
The Batman with no superpowers, but just like badass skills. Like,
bad.
dang.
Can you imagine if everyone's like, who is that Clark Kent?
Yeah.
Exactly. And
We
he's
gotta
like,
unmask
I'm gonna be
him.
the
I
Blue
heard a rumor it's
Spirit.
Superman.
No way.
He writes so many great articles.
He's like, I'm gonna put a blue mask on and they'll never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do water tribe mask and they'll think maybe it's water tribe.
I mean, he's got 2 swords too, so I'm just saying he's giving Jet a run for his money with the
They're
way
great.
he fights.
I mean, can
and
we just
I
take
love
a
him.
moment to think about Zuko and Jet, like
Oh, yeah.
really
Just
Batman
go-
and Robin?
They're gonna be like
Yeah.
they competed on like Alone.
Yeah.
They went out into the middle of the forest and stayed in a tent together and just like
these
lived off the
guys.
land and just wrote poetry.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I'm ready for it.
I would see that.
Yeah.
I'd read that, watch
another
that.
time,
Yeah.
alternate universe, another time, another
place.
place.
Before we wrap up,
Yeah.
well, you want to give a couple more honorable mentions, like Piandao,
Yes.
extremely important
The
character.
sword master.
I mean,
Sword
sword
master.
master,
Right? How cool. Not a bender, but a sword master.
Yeah.
And very pivotal and important in the world.
Great. I mean,
Awesome.
great teacher.
Great
Yeah.
teacher.
Also, sword maker.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
he does it. He does it all.
World's about balance. I love that.
Yes. Well, we get into those White Lotus members.
The coolest. Just the coolest.
Extremely cool. Extremely cool.
Yeah.
What about Chief Hakoda? Because let me tell you
Yes.
something.
Yes.
There are times where, in my mind, I'm just lumping him in as a waterbender.
True.
I'm like, oh no, he's the
Yeah.
chief. Like,
Yeah,
of course
yeah,
he's
yeah.
a waterbender. It's like, wait a minute, Janet. No,
Or-
they're doing all of this. He's doing all of this without being a bender.
Right. Or when we talk about his kids, we talk about Sokka, we talk about like lumping in the father with these characters. But I mean, I wrote down some notes on Hakoda because
Please.
I was reminded in the prep, in the research,
Mm-hmm.
in the refresh that like that in terms of like his role in the story so significant and led to some of the most I could tear up thinking about the moments that he shared with his kids. Such a great dad.
Right.
Such a difficult position to be put in where he's like, I have to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I have to leave my kids with Gran. I have to go do this thing. But then you go to even just the characterization, his personality himself, incredibly charismatic, great
Totally.
leader, right? That Sokka learned
Good-looking
lessons from.
guy.
Good-looking guy, funny.
Very funny.
That's where the sense
Chip
of
off
humor
the old
comes
block,
from. When he
Sokka.
has that moment, he's like, I call it the stinking sink.
The mines are filled with skunkfish and seaweed. When a ship detonates the mine, the seaweed tangles up the propeller, and the foul smell forces people to abandon the ship. I call it the stinkin' sink.
Good one, Dad.
You're definitely your father's son.
And like Sokka loved that.
Also brilliant. He does say that Sokka, like, you know, we have two,
Genius,
Couple
water
of
tribe
geniuses.
geniuses. Which
Yeah.
I think they are.
So such a great role model character, such a great. I just love the characterization of like, well, this is where he gets his corny sense of humor. This is where Sokka gets his corny jokes.
Totally.
Is dad
Totally.
jokes, which
Totally.
is love him, love that guy.
But you're so right. Those moments where he's giving all of the space
Yep.
that his kids could ever need. Like
Yep.
he wants his kids to be leaders.
Yeah.
And there's no like he comes into the picture and you don't get that sense of like, well, now hold on, I'm
know.
your father and
I know.
I da da da.
Right.
It's like he's so gentle with Katara's anger towards him. He totally understands
know.
it, and you know he's so encouraging of Sokka, being like, you lead this thing.
Yeah.
You lead the
Still
Day of
a
Black Sun.
caring
Like,
father. He wants his kids to be safe. He understands the dangers that are present, you know, but knows that they're skilled.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go do this. You guys go do
Totally.
that. Like,
Yeah.
just a great
He
great
lost a
character.
few times too.
Yeah, absolutely.
He got hurt a few times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to bring it back to Jet, but not Jet. All the freedom fighters. I mean, Smeller being...
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's true. That's a good point.
The Duke, Pipsqueak,
The Duke, Pipsqueak.
Yeah.
I mean, think about, as brave as Hakoda and the Water Tribe guys are.
Sure.
They're a water tribe with somewhat of a navy, somewhat of like a
Group
force.
Men
These are
and warriors.
Scrappers.
These are kids that are going to fight
Yeah.
the Empire or the
Yeah.
Fire Nation
Right.
would be. And they're just a bunch of kids.
I know,
Like the
they're
Lost
so brave.
Boys.
Like
in
the
a
Lost
way, you know?
Boys. But they're going, and they don't win all the time, but they got some wins. They
Absolutely.
came in with
Yes.
some wins. You know?
They did. They
Absolutely.
did. In terms of non-bender wins, you're right.
Yeah, they did pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bend your ear for ad-free episodes with Avatar Braving the Elements Premium.
Subscribe today on Apple Podcasts.